Welcome
Welcome
to
to
Shade
Shade
and
in
the
the
City.
City.
I'm your girl Treese.
It's Nels.
And today we are getting into our review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 5, Episode 9. So if you have not already, Shade Squad, please make sure that you hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
And guys, all of our new viewers, welcome. And Shade Squad, you know, we're silly over here. And this one, I don't know why she say the same thing. She has the same lines.
Don't be telling the
Every
blooper.
intro. And
Don't.
now all of a sudden she just went blank. Anyway, let's get into
It
it.
was, look, we redid it for a reason. So they didn't have to know.
Anyway, let's get into it and let's get shady.
So we start off with Stormy's husband, Courtney. He has decided to get the guys together since Stormy decided to have a peace party and meet up with the women. He thought it'd be a good idea to, get the guys together after all the drama that happened down in Madani.
Right.
Now, Marcel, he shows up. He admits that he is not a basketball player. His game
And
is
he is not.
football. Yeah, he said he's a football player,
He just
and
looked good in the Hoochie Daddy shorts, though.
I can't see him like that no more. Ugh. But he's hoping to be on Courtney's team because apparently Courtney's really good. Courtney, like, look, this is my idea. We're gonna come play my game. Okay. So Courtney mentions the dinner that Stormy is,
I'm not saying Courtney's not good. Courtney's just a lot better than everybody else that was out there. I felt like that made him excel and look a lot better because he was with people who really couldn't play.
Okay.
That's like me trying to play you and Ashley in football and then be like, oh, she's amazing. She's a star. Like,
I'm actually good at football. I just don't like to watch it. I thought you were gonna say golf.
that too.
I was gonna say golf. She's whooping ass.
You can get it
She's
how
whooping ass in golf. So Courtney mentions to the guys, about Stormy getting together with the ladies. They all know they got the rundown.
Martell says you better have
Martell
your
asked,
security.
huh?
You
Yeah,
better
he's
have
like,
your
is Miss
security.
Wanda gonna be there? And they're like, no, I don't think she's gonna be there. But he's like, yeah, y'all still might need some security. Basically, Courtney feels like guys can, well, actually, I feel like all the guys mainly said it. I know Marcel said it, Courtney said it. Basically, all the guys can come back from an argument easier than women can. And they're not expecting the women's dinner to go quite as well as the guys get together. So they asked Maurice how his business is going. He says it's going great. He's starting the first Black title company out here. Yes, we know. Congrats,
That's right.
Maurice. Congrats, Kimmi. Marcel says things are going good with him. They're expanding adjacent suite over at Uptown. And Courtney says, that's what he's trying to get into, some commercial. But he don't know, he don't know the logistics. He don't really want to do all that. He just want to provide the money, really, is what he want to do. He said he just want to build and sell. And Marcel tells him he'll teach him the strategy. And I feel like, is that when he made a joke talking about something? He tried to teach
He
Martell,
tried to
but
teach Martell, but
they ain't
see
really
how
going
that
nowhere. Marcel said Courtney's, a really cool guy, and he expressed his interest in commercial real estate, and he'd be happy to teach him. And, basically, yeah, I think the guys, they didn't really have no beef. I think they kind of squashed their beef before they even had the meetup.
right. This was just a reason for them to hang out.
They asked Marcel how he's getting along with Melody, and he says, they're looking at the bigger picture. Basically everything pertains to the kids. He let them know that Mel invited him to Destin because that's where they used to go with the kids. He is out here telling everybody this story. He want
Anybody that
everybody to
will
know.
listen, he wants y'all to know that Mel invited him.
Basically, like, sir, we get it. Okay, she don't want you back. That's what's important.
Right.
Marcel asked, "You don't think that's confusing to the kids?" And Marcel says that, you know, they have enough sense basically to know that they're divorced and they're not getting back together, and they just understand happiness. And, you know,
He
it means
likes
a lot
seeing
to
a
him to
smile on
see,
his kids' face.
yeah, to see a smile on his kid's face. And Maurice says that's good and all, but, you know, those kids are going to have a lot of hope. And basically, Maurice and Marceau expressed that, you know, they had divorced parents and they would go out on dates, and all they was doing, you know, was hoping and praying that they would get back together. So, you know, they understand. Marcel says that him and
And those are
Mel,
facts.
Marcel says that him and Mel want to do what's best for their children. And, you know, what they think is best for their children is to see them in a positive light. Lewis agrees that it's good for the kids to see them together in a great space and happy versus arguing. But was Lewis, I mean, I
Lewis
would
is
think,
married too and got this. So I mean, I like
yeah,
everybody's
but you're the married adult versus being the child. So I would think that
right,
Maurice and Marcel would have more insight, I would think.
right.
So
And I love and I'm so happy that they said this because I understand people have to do what makes them happy, especially when you're in really toxic or messed up situations. But I hate when people just chunk off splitting up like that, like it doesn't affect the kids. And I'm happy that they finally just like had people speak up, like, no, no, yeah, it kind of
like,
bothered
yeah,
me.
we might know that they were divorced and they're not getting back together, but we still hoped, especially when we saw them do shit together and hanging out
And even
together.
I think Maurice even talks about how Monster went through it when he was splitting up with Kiowa. And he was like, we hadn't been together since he was 3 years old. And he was still under the impression, like, why can't y'all make it work? Why can't
I
y'all
can
be
say the same thing about my daughter.
right?
About my daughter. And I don't know if she's ever remembered us being together.
Right. So just the way it is. And yeah, hopefully the kids do understand, but I do applaud them for what they're trying to do and do. I wouldn't say blended family, but just be a cordial co-parenting.
I think Marcel just wants to be in her space, period. You don't give a damn how.
Me, Martell.
What I said, Marcel?
Marcel, you said.
Yes, at least it's
At
somebody
least
in the
it's
cast.
not Kevin.
It's somebody in the cast, okay?
At least it's not Kevin.
Martell just wants to be in her space, up her ass, in her energy, okay?
That I can agree with. We see Stormi and Mel link up. They appear to be matching in their blue. And they are meeting up at a spot called what Mel called Dreamcatcher, but the outside, the sign
What
said
Stormy called.
or Stormi, I'm sorry. Now, Mel says she hasn't seen Stormi since Madani and has been busy being in her bag. So she's looking forward to catching up with her. Plus, she feels that Stormi most of the time is great at bringing positivity. Now, Stormi suggests they get a photo of their aura, which I thought was really cool. And Mel says she wants to get a black obsidian because apparently that's supposed to give you protection.
Protection.
And she says she need that. So Stormi's like, girl, what you talking about? And she's like, well, you know, why you were there for some of it. And she's like, no, girl, I was there for all of it. Which then I would have looked at her again and be like, so what you mean? What the hell I'm talking about? So anyway.
I mean, I wouldn't think you don't want to need protection since you the one that went over there.
Right.
You mean you need some boxing gloves? That's what you need.
Okay. So she tells her about the dinner and the discussion about Wanda and how, you know, there was an agreement. We're going to talk to Wanda, let her know kids are not supposed to be spoke on. She talks about how proud she is that she did not feed into the shade. And I even said that last review. I was like, Tisha definitely was throwing shade. And she read the room and realized, oh, this is not the time to throw little shade. But she also brings up how Tisha is full of excuses for both Marceau and Wanda's behavior. So she then attempts to act oblivious to gain the sympathy card Mel feels. Stormi asked if her and Tisha could ever be friends, and Mel said she's not interested. Not today,
she ain't
not
looking for
tomorrow, not never.
No new friends.
Stormi tells her she plans on trying to put something together for all the ladies, and Mel just looks at Stormi and is like, no.
All right, if looks could kill. But she was like, who? What? Who are you talking about? She's like, everybody. Kimmi, you. Me, Destiny, Tiffany, Tisha, and look, Mel is just like, she was
She
giving
said,
that Destiny look like I
right,
think you need to stay out of
right.
it.
Stormy says that she doesn't think anything was resolved at the Galentine's event and believes that she had a part in, kind of ruining that and wants to try again. Mel's like, I'm not trying to resolve nothing. And questions like, Stormy, what you really trying to do? Because it sounds like you're trying to start some shit. That's what it sounds like you're trying to do. Stormy says she wants healing,
And
sound
magical
bowls,
energy.
magical energy. Woohoo! I said, why you sound like the Pillsbury Doughboy?
Right?
Mel says they've tried that before and it didn't work out well. So Stormy says in confessional that she doesn't know what they did before, but they've never done it with her. So she believes in manifestation and hopes to manifest that everyone will be on a peaceful accord. Mel tells her she's going to need to think about that, child. And, Stormy tells her she has to come because those are her people. And I was like, I think she was just clear these are not her people. She has no interest on resolving or faking friends with any of these.
She got rid of those people.
Right.
She threw those people in the trash.
And look, and you keep playing, you might not be her people.
It'd be like that. Courtney and Marcel meet up. Marcel showing off, his first project. It looked like it was like a hotel or something. It actually looked like a Fairfield Inn or something. I don't know what
It
it
looked
is.
like a Fairfield or a Homewood or something.
Right. And he's like, this is my first project. He's going down a list of his accolades. Marcel says that he's happy to help out Courtney. He's schooling him in basketball, but he about to school him in these investments.
Okay.
So they sit down in Marcel's first baby. And he let him know how he started it all by himself. Because Courtney was asking, he was like, it wasn't when Martel. No, he said by himself, and he wants to know Courtney's goals. So Courtney says that he just wants to make money on it. He doesn't want to carry it on. Carry on it, and he just wants to own it and sell it.
Right.
Marcel asked, is it just Courtney or is it Courtney and Stormy? He says it's always Stormy.
Okay. He said she is always
Courtney. He said, it's a hand-to-hand thing. They just always work together. Marcel said him and Tisha work together in the vision and creation, but he'd be afraid it spill over into the household. Courtney said business is business, personal is personal, and told him he thinks that he has a problem working with women.
Mainly
or his wife.
Right.
And tells him that he believes that business, personal, and household, it should all be together. And said they don't argue or get into it because where she should take the lead, he lets her take the lead. And basically they have different rules, different roles. So Marcel was like, okay, like you guys have roles. Courtney tells him that he doesn't have no roles. And Marcel says that, when it comes to the household, that's Tisha's role, and everything outside of the house, that's his. And Courtney, lets him know that they can make more money working together, and says, he made 20 million working with his wife. Marcel was like, well, I made 17 working apart.
Right.
And he was like, well, really you could double that, if you work with your wife. And Marcel doesn't believe that, they would double it. He says they would probably have to go half because they'd end up splitting up if they was working together.
And that's what and we all know. She said she would take him for half of everything he had.
She'd shown up dead. And then they finally, get back to business and, start discussing investments and shit.
Right. Bear with me. This is a hard scene to watch.
Yes, it was.
So now Maurice and Kimmy look like they're having a movie night. Apparently they have finished the movie room, and I was about to mess up like nails. Maurice says that Kimmy has been having a rough week. So he wanted to do something nice for her. He wants to watch a little comedy and lower her stress, in hopes he can get her spirits back up. And possibly make her laugh. He tells her about the basketball game with the guys and how Courtney whooped on him. He says he's very laid back, but laid back like lull you to sleep kind of guy. We learn about Kimmy's week, and she begins to get emotional, talking about how she's trying to be strong for everyone around her. And I don't think we see Kimmy be emotional too often. So I kind of knew
I
immediately.
don't feel like I've ever seen her be
Right.
emotional.
So I immediately knew something was terribly wrong. Um, so she's talking about Maurice tells her it's okay to not be strong. And she talks about how she found a lump on June 14th and called her doctor for a mammogram. She says she thought about it as a nurse. And so she thought she would keep checking, and she found another lump. And so that's when she obviously began to get worried. She tells Maurice, a lump on your breast is a high sign of cancer, but a lump on your lymph node on your breast, that's a double whammy. So Kimmy says she originally wanted to shy away from filming, but it took her a minute to get to a place that was, why not? She hopes the journey that she's about to face, she can help someone else. So she says everything she's done is always everything that she has done, she always tries to help someone else. So if she can do that, that kind of makes her feel better in the midst of all this. So Maurice asked about, how long before the test results come back. And she says it can be as quick as 72 hours. However, she's not trying to think it's the worst before she actually knows what it is. Maurice says this time is hard for him, Kimmy, and the whole family. He feels her mortality has flashed before their eyes and it was completely unexpected. Kimmy says her being strong for her is okay. He wishes that she would, let him support her a little bit. And she's like, she just doesn't want to fall apart. She doesn't want him, Jalen, or her mom to start thinking the worst. So Maurice tells her that it doesn't matter what they're going to face. They're going to face whatever comes. And, he tells her, basically reassuring her that everyone cares about her and loves her. And at this moment, they should be praying for her because, obviously they need divine intervention. And this is not something that they can handle on their own. Kimmy says that she wants to tell her friends, but she doesn't want to cry every day talking about it. The love that they would want to share, the compassion and the prayers would be overwhelming to the point where it would make her sad while she was waiting. So she hopes it's not a big thing and prays it's not a big thing. Maurice says it's the hardest thing he's ever experienced and he doesn't even know yet. So he says the waiting period is crazy and it feels like the days feel more like months. And he says all his help is coming from God right now. He prays that he's saying and doing all the right things and says he's going to be by Kimmy's side, whether it's good or bad, till death do us part. I'm about to get emotional, y'all, just because. Whoo. Anyway, Kimmy says she wants to talk about making plans and provisions like a living will. She said it puts things in perspective about some things they need to get off their checklist. Kimmy tells him she knows that he didn't sign up for a life-changing experience in his
Oh my
marriage.
God, when she said that, I was like,
I know, like that's when I was like, oh my God. He says he signed up for everything and he's gonna be right there the whole time. Maurice says all the plans they've made don't mean anything without her. I was like, go ahead, Maurice. And Kimmy tries to reassure him and herself that everything will be okay. And he tells her whatever it is, he's going through it with her, y'all. Woo! And
you
I'm
know
just
what I liked? He told her that God takes care of her. And she agreed. She said that she's God's girl.
oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we'll let that sit right there. Ain't nothing to be shady about. Prayers up for Kimmy. We're just hoping and wishing and praying, for the best of outcomes. And
Everything comes back benign.
right, right, exactly. So prayers up for Kimmy, y'all.
Stormy is hosting her peace party at her home. It's a beautiful setup. What? Oh, peace.
With the peace
It's,
party.
let me tell you something. Stormy know how to do it. Okay, she got
Okay.
a violinist. It's set up by the pool. She's got beautiful lighting. She's got a host, catered food.
She got sage.
Right. Yeah, she did. She did have sage. So the ladies begin rolling in. They really appreciate the calm atmosphere, especially Kimmy. She said it's something that she really needed. Destiny shows up with her cousin Demi. Because she said
She
she
needed
always had her
backup.
back. Huh?
She needed backup.
Mm-hmm. And she says she knows how Melody can be. And Melody basically caught it. Melody in the confessional was like, I guess she felt like she needed backup.
Right.
But bitch, I'm here by myself. It is what it is. Okay. Stormy addresses it. You know, she kind of addresses it. Was like, I didn't know you were bringing a guest, lady. Like, you didn't say nothing. But Stormy says it's
She
a peace.
handled it well though, but she let her know.
Yeah, she says it is a peace party, so she's gonna roll with it. I just love, even though Stormy, she still she does it in a nice way, but she's still like, bitch, I see you.
Right.
I see what you're doing.
Right.
And I'm gonna address it. I'm not gonna act like I just don't see shit, but I'm gonna do it in a nice way.
She
So
said, well, grateful I got extra room.
basically, so Stormy let them know that she wanted to have the peace party at her home because it's her place of peace. And last time they all got together for the Galentines, and she admits that she felt like she contributed to it going left.
And even
And so,
Destiny was like, she said what?
So, she said she wanted to step in and pick up where, they left off and see if tonight could be better than that one. She says that she felt like when they had a conversation, her and Destiny had a conversation, and all of that was discussed, they came to a better place. Destiny says that she doesn't think it's going to continue to be, a peaceful night if they play this game.
Right.
Melody says that, she thinks it's a good game, but she ain't about to play it. Stormy decides to go first, and she addresses Destiny and says that she wanted to know what happened between her and Mel. So she kept on asking and asked Destiny what she heard. Destiny said, boo, I heard you
Heard he asked me the same thing
50, 11 times. Okay. And she says, that she was already on edge. She was already heightened, and that added fuel to the fire. And Stormy says that she hadn't gotten that. So she just wants to know from her perspective what it was. Tiffany said that she ain't never, had a time like that with her lying ass. And then she says she thinks that she had her the time that she had like that was with Destiny. When they first had their sit down, and she mentioned that that she thought she saw her, but apparently it wasn't her. It was another woman.
It was
And
husband's
Tiffany brings up the first time that happened was at her brunch, and she didn't feel like it was the time or the place. Basically, Tiffany tells her that, she feels like she was slightly exaggerating and acted like she was upset and went to the bathroom. Let me say something that was them now with some fighting words, boy, and said, she was just trying to remind her of the conversation that they had met before. And Destiny says that wasn't the issue. The issue was the time or place that you brought it up.
Right.
And,
and says your delivery
basically
is still
that you saw my ex-husband with another woman. And Tiffany says that, she just felt like it was really hard to come in and get to know anyone because of that situation. Tiffany admits that,
she's still a work in progress.
She's a work in progress.
And we all know
Destiny says the funny thing about that was the woman she was referring to was actually Monica. So everybody's confused. They're like, hold up. So your husband was dating Monica? And she's like, no. They were the only two Black people at this award ceremony, and they both got awards. And Tiffany basically says she don't even know what Monica looks like to even be able to point her out of a crowd or whatever.
She don't look like Destiny.
She don't, but I guess she assumed she was a Black woman with this man, and it had to been her, Stormy then says, what about you, Destiny? And she says, everyone's great. Next person. I'm surprised, with your backup, you would have thought she would have been
right.
All types of mouths. So Tisha said, she's good with everybody. She doesn't have anything from the past that's misunderstood, and we're good. Mel says when she went to Madani's re-grand opening, she said hello to Destiny by name, and she felt like, she didn't speak to her because she came out of the building and told her that she didn't speak to her. Destiny said she didn't hear anything, and that's why she felt that way. Mel says something was misheard because she definitely said Kimmi and Destiny's name. Stormy asked Destiny, knowing that, she did speak, does that change anything? And Destiny said, nope.
Destiny said no, not at all.
And let me say something. She was too stunned to speak.
Now, one thing that I thought was interesting, Tisha does go in her confessional and said that she felt she didn't have anything to say because she feels like people won't own up to their ish, i.e. Mel. So she just won't say anything. You don't remember that part?
What? Wait, what is she saying? Is she taking it? She was taking a dig at Mel?
Yeah.
She's talking about Mel owning up to her shit?
Yeah, that's what she said in her confessional when after she passed her turn up. And that's why
I'm talking to the man in the mirror.
You stupid. Because I was like, good nerve, Tisha.
Him to change his ways.
Well, that's not gonna happen.
She's so full of shit. Ma'am, if anyone needs to look back at their reflection, it is you. You're the one that can't own up to your shit, acting like you don't know what the fuck your mama do or what the fuck she's saying, all types of shit. What? She called you a bitch? Oh my God. Well, you did this and you did that, and that's why my mom did that. Well, she's too old to be hanging out with y'all young motherfuckers anyway. Do something about it. How about that? Worry about your household first. Go look in your mirror.
Guys.
Thank you for tuning in.
For tuning in to another review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, season 5.
I don't know what you're saying.
You comment, you subscribe, and you hit the notification bell. All right. Thank you guys so much. And we make sure you're following us on all the platforms, TikTok, the Twitter, the Facebook, all of those lovely things. And we will catch you next week for another review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. And hopefully we will get better news about Kimmi. So love you guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.